What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we had the typical This Week at Bungie, the second one of the new year this is, so some interesting stuff inside of here. Primarily this centers around conversations including the faction rally that's gone on this week, but also future updates coming to the game. So Josh Hamrick actually gives us some insight, very minor insights into what Bungie are kind of thinking about at the moment and some of the updates that will be coming over the next few months. But it is worth me saying this is a fairly light update. There aren't any major bits of information. There are more promises or kind of loose promises about things, but not necessarily tons of action. But of course we are waiting for game updates, so I'm going to break down what they've said. So about the faction rally in Season 2, they'd like to take a moment to list some of the larger topics. There is an ongoing process at Bungie to assess how we want to change Destiny 2 in the weeks to come, and your voice is a crucial part of it. There was an issue in the previous faction rallies where players were earning hundreds of faction tokens per hour without firing a single shot. In the recent December 12th update, faction token rewards were added to an existing system that was locking players out from Lost Sector rewards. We have heard player feedback that this solution was too disruptive. We're looking at a change that won't make players feel forced to run to and from a single chest for hours, while also not placing a hard stop on enjoying Lost Sectors. We want to ensure that every time you open a chest there is loot inside, and we'll share more details on this before the next faction rally. But they go on to say the other question that players immediately asked when decrypting their faction engrams was, where are the new Season 2 weapons? It was not made clear beforehand that the new Season 2 weapons would be added throughout the events of the season rather than all at once in the beginning. This was on us, no excuses. You can read the full details on how weapons will be rolled out here, and they actually give a link to that. And that's what I spoke about yesterday in Bungie's response. I will link that video down below, but they say they will be remedying this lapse in communication next week with details on what you should expect when the next Iron Banner rolls out in Season 2. So it's good that Bungie recognized the kind of communication breakdown here. One thing I would have liked to see recognized is, the fact that this faction rally does feel pretty lackluster with the current loot systems in place. Not simply the fact that Bungie didn't tell us how this was going to work, although that communication is important and we keep treading this ground over and over again. But like I said, I think Bungie should have put a little bit more effort into, some of the rewards and ensuring that there was new stuff inside of this faction rally, because people are just so starved of content. Nonetheless, they ensure us once again that this won't happen in the future. We'll have to wait and see what they say about the Iron Banner coming up, but I really hope it isn't a rerun of this pretty disastrous faction rally. Moving on though, they talk about feedback centering around weapons and abilities. So Josh Hamrick from the Sandbox team actually tunes in here, and he says, we wanted to drop in for a moment to verify that we're already hard at work and making progress on various improvements that Chris Barrett outlined last week. Additionally, I wanted to give you all a better insight as to how the next several months are shaping up. As with any plans, the first items on the list are the clearest and most well defined. For most of these, we are already hard at work and making good progress on them. The exotic pass is moving forward nicely with John Wisniewski at the helm. That's the kind of exotic tuning they spoke about, but they also say the team has also been talking about things we want to see in the next balance pass coming to you in Season 3, but also Grant McKay has put together a really exciting plan for Mods 2.0 that will open up their requirements significantly, allowing them to be more potent in ways that you'll end up feeling directly in your ability uptime and therefore total power output. And he says the rest of the crew are hard at work on super exciting new content to put smiles on all of your faces before the year is out, and that's just the beginning. So all of this stuff is the stuff that's supposed to be coming inside of February. It's interesting that they're talking about the mods right there. I'm definitely curious to see what Mods 2.0 is going to mean for the game. I really hope that we see some significant changes there. It's interesting that he points out ability uptime, so specifically, and therefore the total power output. I wonder if these are going to be very heavily focused on ability uptime. Personally, I hope that they introduce a whole ton of mods, just like the perks we saw from Armor in D1, stuff that can affect weapons and reloads. Of course, we do have stuff like that in the game right now, but I really feel like it can be amped up and made more exciting. But he finishes by saying 2018 is shaping up to be a huge year for all of us, and there is plenty of Sandbox improvements and changes coming your way. As we move closer to realizing all of the new efforts being made, we continue to show up here and share many more details about how it's all shaping up and how it will work. We expect you to keep showing up and sharing your feedback and passion for the game. So that was Josh Hamrick from the Sandbox team. It's nice that we have, a few insights, a few words of assurance that things are actually happening in the studio, but of course, we're still not at that point where we're getting the information, we're seeing these changes take effect. It's taken a lot of time, and it's meaning that in the meantime, we keep hearing a lot of promises and, like I said, kind of retreading old ground. However, if this is as good as it gets, I'd rather have this much communication than no communication. So I just hope that Bungie can keep that up. But that pretty much is this week at Bungie, guys. I figured most of you will be curious to see what they say, and that is what they've said. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section for sure. If you have enjoyed the video, a like is very much appreciated. Also, be sure to check out Gamerlink in the description below if you're looking for an awesome clan and LFG app on iOS and Android. Gamerlink is a really neat app. The link will be in the description below. But for now, I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.